There's very limited seating inside the courtroom and the overflow room for today's arraignment.
Well, our Morgan McKay was one of the select few reporters inside the courthouse for the arraignment. Morgan joins us now live from the newsroom. And Morgan, you had a front row seat to the spectacle, able to see Trump's facial expressions from the overflow room. So how did he react when he heard the charges for the first time?
So, Steve and Natasha, it was supposed to be first come, first serve. So the bigger news organizations paid journalism students to wait outside starting yesterday at 4 p.m. They were lined up, spent the night outside, and there were a very few limited number of reporters who made the cut to be inside the courtroom where Trump was being arraigned. And they were able to obtain what was called the green card. Everyone was handed cards, the reporters at least who made the cut. So the green card got you into the room where former President Donald Trump was being arraigned. We got a white card. There were two overflow rooms. The white card got us into the room directly across from where Trump was being arraigned, and we were able to see Trump visibly, his facial expressions throughout the entire court proceedings. He was very attuned to what was going on, and this was unique because the people who were actually inside the room only saw the back of his head, and that's something that one of the representatives for the news organizations mentioned during the arraignment, was that they would like to move some of the monitors to the front of the room so that the reporters in the room could actually see sort of what was going on with witnesses and Trump and his lawyers, just kind of what they were, how they were reacting throughout the entire proceedings. Now, the security going inside, there was a metal detectors right when you walked through the doors, and then you went up to the 15th floor, went through a second set of metal detectors. There were police dogs. They scanned me again, and then we went into the courtroom, and you could hear the helicopters buzzing outside, the police helicopters, and you could hear the protesters shouting outside. Now, Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Bragg, he came in and sat in the second row. They left that entire front row clear for security purposes, and they also had NYPD officers standing on the aisle facing journalists, again, for security purposes.
And one of the things, we thought that he was going to be in and out relatively quickly for security reasons. They don't want him in that building any longer than he had to be, but he was actually in that courtroom in front of the judge for nearly an hour. What was the reaction to that, and why do we think the proceedings took so long today?
Well, right off the top, the district attorney's office sort of went into a reasoning on why these charges are being handed out. They went into detail. They detailed out exactly what Trump, they alleged, did to hide these business records, falsify these business records. And Trump's lawyers, when they went to testify, they sort of quipped, "We didn't know we were doing opening statements today." So that was a little bit of what was kind of going on at the top of the arraignment.
And you had such a great vantage point there from the overflow room. Like you mentioned, Morgan, you were able to see the facial expressions. I mean, what was Trump's demeanor? What was his legal team's demeanor, again, sitting there with his defense team?
So Trump was very serious throughout this entire thing, and it was actually taken a little bit by surprise because when he walked in, he was staring just straight down with his, typical Trump stare, just straight down at the camera, at where the judge would be sitting. But once the trial or the arraignment actually started, he was very attuned to what was going on. He was facing the lawyers, he was listening, he was looking at the papers. He was obviously very frustrated and very tense as well.
Yeah, very interesting situation for sure. Now, of course, one of the things the judge decided against was issuing a gag order, but there were some expectations for his conduct. Is there any thought about where we go from here, and if tonight's rally at Mar-a-Lago may have changed the equation on that, do you think?
Yes, so they are talking about putting together what's called a protective order, and this would ban Trump from taking pictures of evidence and posting it. It would ban him from using these materials in any sort of campaign-related way. It would also keep him from taking the documents with him as well. So they're talking about coming to an agreement on these terms of evidence and kind of moving forward, but they're not talking about a gag gag order as of right now. But the district attorney's office made that very clear that this rhetoric could cause security concerns. Now, the Trump's team did come back and say, you know, well, Steve Cohen has been on, the news. He's also been saying rhetoric as well. So the judge just issued an overall warning to both sides, saying that everyone needs to keep their people in check and they need to keep the rhetoric down.
Right, Michael Cohen, indeed. All right, well, certainly a fascinating day, one none of us will ever forget. Morgan, thanks so much.